Hi everybody, in this video we're going to be looking at the area of an annulus. This here is an annulus, and essentially what it is a circle with a small circle cut out of it. So one way to solve these is to work out the area of this large circle, which has a radius of 10 centimeters, minus the radius of the small circle. So if we go over here, so one way is to, we have this large circle and we have a cut out of this small circle. If we're given the radius of what our large circle is, and then we minus the radius of the area of our small circle, then what we get is the area of the annulus. So let's do this first one. So we know that the area of a circle is given by pi r squared. So let's have a look at the area of the large circle first. We'll call this area 1, and we'll call the small one area 2. So the total area is going to be equal to A1 minus A2. And in this case, A1 is going to be equal to pi times 10 squared. The diameter, a large diameter, is 10 centimeters, and then that is going to be equal to, well, let's bring up the calculator and have a look. It's going to be equal to pi times 10 squared. So pi times 10 squared is 314.16 to 2 decimal places. 314.16, and that's in centimeters squared, and area 2 is going to be equal to pi times 6 squared, because that's our radius for our small circle. So pi times 6 squared is going to be equal to 113.10 to 2 decimal places. Now, in order to maintain the accuracy of this calculation, it's probably better to do this all at once in your calculator. So if we do the whole calculation as, let's put brackets, so pi times 10 squared, or pi times 100, minus bracket pi times 6 squared, or pi times 36, is going to be equal to 201.06. So our total area is going to be equal to 201.06, and we need to round, nope, 0.6, and we check the units, it's centimeters, so it's centimeters squared. And that's the area of our annulus. Now we could have just taken those two away, but this is more accurate. Okay, so that's one way of doing this. Another way to do this is through a formula. So let's call this area of the annulus. So another way to do this is the area of the annulus is going to be equal to A is equal to pi times the radius of the large circle squared minus the radius of the small circle squared. So let's have a look at that initial example again. Let's check A. So this is going to be equal to pi times 10 squared minus 6 squared. So pi times 100 minus 36 is pi times 64, but we'll just do the whole thing. So do pi times bracket 10 squared minus 6 squared bracket equals 201.06, which is exactly the same answer that we had before. So 201.06, and that's centimeters squared. So this way is much quicker, but ultimately you need to be able to remember it, and if you can't remember it, The original way is a very logical method of solving this. You take the area of the large circle and you minus the area of the small circle. We did a very similar thing in the area of composite shapes. So if you understand the logic of it, you should be able to solve all these questions. If you understand and remember the formula for an annulus, that's even better. Okay, so let's do the rest of them. Let's do B and C. Alright, so using the formula for an annulus, we go, our area for B is going to be equal to, well, it's going to be pi times the radius of our large circle squared, so 8 squared minus 6 squared for our small circle. So what's that going to be? That's going to be pi times, well, 8 squared minus 6 squared. And that is 87.96. So 87.96. And the units are centimeters, so it's going to be centimeters squared. Let's do C. So the area is going to be equal to pi times the radius of our large circle, which is 4 centimeters, so 4 squared minus 2 squared. And if we think about that for 5 seconds, well, that's pi times 16 minus 4, so pi times 12. But we'll type out the whole thing here, so it's going to be pi, let's go back, pi times 4 squared minus 2 squared. Bracket equals 12 pi, or 37.699. Well, let's round that to 37.70. So 37.70. Check the units, meters, so meters squared. Okay, so that's how you solve for the area of an annulus. You can either do it logically by realizing that the area of this composite shape is going to be the area of the large circle minus the area of the small circle, or you can use this formula where the area is going to be equal to pi times the radius of the large circle minus the radius of the small circle. Alright, squared. Alright, well that's all I have for you in this video. I hope this helped, and I'll see you in the next one.